Everybody wants to invest in something. Some invest in business. Some invest in people. Some invest in fame. Others invest in money, property, beauty, and titles. But few stop to ask, what does it mean to invest in God? Because you can invest in the world and lose everything. You can invest in people and end up betrayed. You can invest in career and still feel empty. But when you invest in God, there's no loss. There's no failure. There's no regret. There's only peace, only favor, only eternal reward. To invest in God is not like putting money in a bank. It's not about interest rates and profits. It's about putting your life in His hands and saying, take everything. I trust you with it all. It's choosing God when it's not convenient. It's loving Him when you don't understand Him. It's seeking Him even when He seems silent. It's believing Him when nothing makes sense. It's staying faithful when your heart is breaking. That's investment. That's surrender. That's what God is looking for, not your leftover time, not your emotional offerings, but your whole self. When you invest in God, you plant seeds that will outlive you. You deposit something into eternity. You store up treasures that no thief can steal and no economy can crash. When you invest in God, you're saying, this world is not my home. My hope is not in systems. My value is not in titles. My life is not mine. It belongs to God. It's not a casual relationship. It's not just Sunday morning. It's not just when you need a breakthrough. Investing in God means He's the center. He's the foundation. He's the reason you live, breathe, work, give, and wait. The problem is we want God to invest in us, but we don't invest in Him. We want blessings, but we won't sacrifice. We want favor, but we won't obey. We want doors to open, but we won't kneel in prayer. We want miracles, but we won't fast. We want increase, but we won't sow. We want results, but we won't commit. We want His hand, but not His heart. We want His power, but not His process. We want the crown, but not the cross. But investing in God requires all of you, not just your shout, but your surrender. Not just your praise, but your purity. Not just your words, but your walk. God is not fooled by lip service. He knows who's truly invested. He sees who worships Him in secret. He hears who cries to Him in the midnight hour. He knows who chooses Him when no one is watching. He's watching your heart. He's weighing your priorities. He's checking your loyalty. Do you love Him or do you love what He gives? Do you follow Him or do you just follow convenience? Do you serve Him or do you only show up when there's a blessing? Investing in God is costly. It will cost you pride. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you relationships. It will cost you your will. But everything you give up for Him, He multiplies. Everything you release, He restores. Everything you offer, He anoints. You may lose the world, but you gain the kingdom. You may be rejected by people, but you are embraced by God. You may be mocked for your faith, but you are crowned with glory. You may be overlooked by man, but you are celebrated in heaven. That's the return of investing in God: peace, favor, strength, identity, and eternal reward. Time is one of the greatest ways to invest in God. What do you do with your time? Do you spend hours scrolling, gossiping, complaining, chasing money, but give God only 5 minutes? If He gave you 24 hours today, why can't you give Him one in prayer? If He gave you life and breath, why can't you give Him your worship? Stop investing your time in things that won't matter in eternity. Start investing your time in God, because time with God is never wasted. One moment in His presence can do what 10 years of hustle cannot. Another way to invest in God is through obedience. When He says forgive, do you obey? When He says let go, do you trust Him? When He says move, do you follow? Obedience is not always easy. It doesn't always make sense. It won't always be popular. But it's the key to unlocking God's best. You can't invest in God and live in rebellion. You can't invest in God and ignore His word. You can't expect the reward of obedience while living in disobedience. To invest in God is to say, yes, Lord, even when it's hard. even when it hurts, even when it costs you everything. Prayer is another form of investment. Every time you pray, you deposit trust. You sow faith. You release your desires and receive God's. Prayer is not a ritual, it's a relationship. It's not about perfect words, it's about a surrendered heart. It's in prayer that you build intimacy. It's in prayer that you hear His voice. It's in prayer that you find direction, healing, strength, and wisdom. Some of you are spiritually bankrupt because you haven't been depositing prayer. You're running on empty because you haven't invested in the secret place. But if you want heaven to move, you've got to kneel. If you want answers, you've got to ask. If you want fire, you've got to seek. Worship is also investment. Not just singing songs, but living a life that honors God. Worship is giving Him glory in your thoughts, your words, your actions. Worship is choosing purity when temptation comes. Worship is saying no to sin and yes to holiness. Worship is faithfulness when it's boring. Worship is giving even when it hurts. Worship is trusting when you don't understand. Worship is not just a sound, it's a sacrifice. Worship is not just a melody, it's a moment of surrender. Every time you worship, heaven records it. Every act of honor, every moment of devotion, it's noted by God. Your resources can also be invested in God. How do you use your money? Does your giving reflect your gratitude? Does your spending reflect your priorities? The Bible says where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. If you say you love God but don't support His work, your words are empty. Tithing, giving to the poor, supporting ministry, these are acts of investment. Not because God needs your money, but because He wants your heart. Giving is not about losing, it's about planting. And God never lets a seed go to waste. When you invest in His kingdom, He invests in your house. Fasting is another investment. It's saying, God, I want you more than food, more than comfort, more than routine. Fasting breaks chains. It sharpens your spirit. It silences your flesh. It's a powerful way to realign with God. When you fast, you are spiritually making space. You're telling your body to sit down and your spirit to rise. You're turning down the volume of the world and turning up the voice of God. Fasting doesn't earn you God's love, but it positions you to receive His revelation. And that's a reward greater than any paycheck or promotion. Serving others is another way to invest in God. When you serve the least, you're serving Jesus. When you lift others, heaven lifts you. When you give love, time, encouragement, and help, you are sowing seeds into God's field. And He never forgets. Don't serve for applause. Don't serve for titles. Serve because you love. Serve because you're grateful. Serve because you're called. The greatest in the kingdom is not the one with the most followers, it's the one with the biggest towel. Don't chase platforms. Chase purpose. Don't chase attention. Chase assignment. That's investment. Some people invest their whole life in the wrong thing and only realize it when it's too late. They gave everything to people who left them. They gave their heart to things that broke them. They gave their time to things that didn't feed them. But today, you have a chance to shift. To change your investment strategy. To say, from now on, my life is yours, God. I will invest my time, my worship, my obedience, my love, my everything, into you. And I promise, you'll never be disappointed. God is the only investment that guarantees eternal return. Earthly investments fade. Stock markets crash. Businesses close. People change. But God remains. His promises remain. His love remains. His plans remain. He is the only safe place for your future. So stop wasting time. Stop delaying. Stop procrastinating. Start investing in prayer, in fasting, in worship, in holiness, in service, in the Word, in obedience. Start storing up treasure in heaven, not just wealth on earth. And don't invest for show. Invest in God even when no one sees. Even when no one claps. Even when no one understands. Real investment is personal. It's private. It's sacred. It's between you and God. And when the harvest comes, the world will wonder where the overflow came from. And you will say, "This is what happens when you invest in God." There's no better time than now. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need a title. You don't need a pulpit. You just need a heart that says yes. A soul that says, "Here I am." A life that's available. Because God is not looking for flashy. He's looking for faithful. He's not impressed by fame. He's drawn to faith. He's not waiting for perfect people. He's waiting for willing vessels. So today, choose to invest. Choose to give. Choose to serve. Choose to obey. Choose to believe. And watch what heaven releases over your life. This is your moment. This is your word. This is your shift. Stop chasing temporary. Start investing in eternal. You've wasted too much already. Don't lose more time. Don't give more years to things that drain you. Give everything to the one who gave everything for you. He died for you. He rose for you. He loves you. Invest in him. He's worth it.